Welcome back to Susan for Travel. Today's video is all about making your way around LA, Universal, Anaheim, Disneyland region. I just want to run through for people what I used and I found easiest when I was over there. I do know a lot of Australians, they're a bit iffy about having a hire car just for expense reasons, and also it'd be nerve-wracking driving on the opposite side of the road. So I'm going to run through what I found useful and what I did when I was over there, and I'm going to end the video with a really cool town car service that me and my friends hired on an hourly charter and actually got to do some sightseeing and get dropped at LAX with our luggage at the end of it. And I'll include all the contact info for that particular car service in case you'd like to use it yourself. So I'll run through it for you now. Upon arrival into LAX, I didn't have anything pre-booked. You can certainly have a private transfer all booked and ready to go. But in this instance, I just arrived, I exited out of the arrivals terminal, and I looked to the left-hand side and you see these bright green poles, and that's actually where the complimentary shuttle will take you to where you can get a taxi or an Uber or a Lyft, any kind of rideshare service. I had in my mind that I would get an Uber, but once I got there and I connected to the LAX Wi-Fi, because I wasn't working off any kind of paid internet, I jumped onto the Wi-Fi, I looked up Uber. It was going to cost $130 to get to Universal, which is a bit ridiculous. It could of course change at any time, so don't be afraid to check it if you go there yourself. But I decided on a taxi in this instance, and it ended up costing about $80 total, including tip. LAX Airport also has one of the best websites I've ever seen. You can actually go into their interactive map and type in where you want to go from and to in the space of the airport, not out in LA, but it will show you if you're going to go from this terminal to that terminal, the best way to get there. Now, while I was at the Universal Studios Hilton, I visited the Walk of Fame once during that 3-night stay, and in order to get there, I just got an Uber there and back again. And for that, I don't have paid internet, so I actually connected to the Hilton Hotel's Wi-Fi. I booked the Uber and made my way there, and then on the return I connected to the Funko Shop's Wi-Fi just because that was my last stop. If you're ever having difficulties getting a Wi-Fi service in order to book an Uber, any coffee shop should really have it, and you may have to purchase something, but in this instance I happened to be in that shop, and in each direction it was $13 US there and back, so $26 in total, and add on whatever tip you would like to give to an Uber driver. Up next is the private transfer. I just chose in this instance to use a private car transfer, and it went from the Hilton Universal City Hotel to the Castle Inn & Suites Anaheim Hotel. And with that one, I used Anaheim Town Car Services. I would recommend them definitely again. I've got a few images of what it was like in the vehicle. And for me, it was a very professional service. The gentleman was running late due to traffic, and I actually got a text. He said he'd be about 15 minutes late, which I was all fine with. I knew that there was actually some traffic in the area. And for anyone interested, that cost $168 US at the time that I booked it. And you can choose to have the tip included or excluded. I didn't include it, I just paid him cash once we reached the Anaheim property. On the very last day of our trip, we knew that we wanted to do something to fill in the space, because all direct flights to Australia, about 99% of them, they do leave in the evening, anywhere between 10 p.m. and midnight. So for us, this was ideal. We ended up getting an hourly charter service from Anaheim Car Services, the same people that I took that private transfer from previously. And all you do is you jump on their site, you put your start point and your end point, how many hours you'd like to have the car for, and the number of people. You can then choose the size of the vehicle depending on the number of passengers and the amount of luggage you have. So for us, it was terrific. We got picked up at about 12:30 and used the car for about 5 hours with the driver, of course. And that entire time we knew our luggage was safe because it's with the driver at all times, and we're getting all the way to the airport while enjoying the sights before we actually, have to go home. For ours, we just went to the Citadel outlets for 25-30 minutes. I just wanted to see one shop. We then went to the Walk of Fame because my friends who I'd met there hadn't actually been there, so we went there. Then we went to Santa Monica Pier, where we had lunch and spent the most of our time, about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And then we got dropped at LAX. Everything was terrific. We had complimentary water in the vehicle, and I would definitely go with them again. So if anyone's thinking of something very similar for themselves, it's a great company to use. And just jump on their website and you can get an idea of all the costs and everything like that. Again, you can choose to have the gratuity included or not included, and we just paid him $30 each at the end of it. So I hope this helped you to plan your own holiday and how you might get around the vastness that is LA Anaheim area. Please give a like if you can, and we'll see you in the next one.